So, like I said in my AEW All Out review video, um, I typically um, don't record my pay per view reaction videos um, a day later. I usually try and do them right there in the moment. But like I said, I wanted to get some food and I wanted to get home because I was really, really tired. But now that I'm well rested, I am now able to talk about Wrestlepalooza, my thoughts about the show as a whole. And I was actually there in person to experience WWE's first PLE on ESPN, um, which I thought, I'm just going to get out of the way, I thought it was a really good show. Being there in person definitely helped out, and I thought it was a really fun and entertaining show throughout. Um, After the opening done by Triple H, we get into our opening match, which in no way was meant to kind of draw in viewers watching AEW. No, that wasn't necessarily, that wasn't the case at all. It was John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, and I have to say, I've been to 3 WWE shows this year. I went to the Rumble, I went to Backlash, and I went to, of course, Wrestlepalooza. At the Rumble, Cena was a face. At Backlash, he was a heel. And now here at Wrestlepalooza, he's a babyface. And I just find that absolutely funny. Brock came out, and just experiencing his entrance live and in person, that was really, really cool. Cena came out with a whole army of kids, which I find absolutely hysterical because what happens in the matchup was an absolute mauling. Uh, Brock just dominated. Oh, and I must say, before we get into the match, Paul Heyman came out to make the announcement for Brock Lesnar, and I'm assuming that this is like maybe a one-off type deal. But yeah, Brock mauled Cena in this matchup. Now I know what it's like to have seen Brock squash Cena, much like what happened in 2014. Uh, Although, granted, Cena did hit 3 consecutive AAs, it wasn't enough because then Brock just hit F5 after F5 after F5. I think in total he hit 5 or 6 in a row, and that was enough to pick up the win. Funny enough, the one prediction that I got wrong in my predictions, everything else on the show I got correct in terms of my predictions. This was the one that I did not get right. Um, but afterwards, Brock is leaving. He gets back into the ring and gives Cena another F5 for his troubles, and then makes his way back up the ramp. And of course, Cena making his way back up the ramp, hailed with "Thank you, Cena" chants. So it will be very interesting because nothing happened in the post match. Um, so I'm wondering, because Cena's not slated for any TV appearances um, coming up. And his next appearance is going to be at Crown Jewel in Australia. So, who's his opponent going to be? Because I would have sincerely thought that we would have had something set up for Cena at this show for his lead into Crown Jewel. That didn't happen. So, who will Cena's opponent be for Crown Jewel? Let me know down in the comments below your ideas of who he fights at Crown Jewel. Moving on to the tag match. Yes, the tag match. I believe it was the tag match that was next. I'm just trying to look it up here. Wait, I have my phone right here. Jesus. Because I have key bindings on my OBS where if I press my W key, it will change the background. So I don't want to do that. Yes, it was the tag match. Just had to remind myself. It was the Vision, Bronbreakker and Bronson taking on the Usos with LA Knight as the special guest ref. This is one of the entrances that I did not post on my channel, although I probably will. And that is the Usos when they come out with their original day one-ish theme, and then Jimmy cuts a promo saying, Indy, we're gonna, party and show ESPN how WWE does it, and then they play Jay's theme and place going absolutely crazy, and then they run it back again. And I gotta say, doing the yeeting, like it gives you a nice little arm workout. Really good stuff in this tag match. I also love the fact that in this tag match, LA Knight, two things that I noticed. One was wearing the old ref shirt, and two, instead of having the WWE logo, it was his logo. So I thought that was funny. I also love the fact that whenever Bronsonreed grabbed a chair, and then Jimmy got the chair away from Reed, LA Knight was like, do whatever. And so Jimmy hit Reed with a chair. Good power offense from the heels in this. And then, of course, leads to the Jay hot tag. He's running wild, going crazy. They get a table set up inside of the ring, sponsored by Slim Jim. At some point, also, Jay gets busted open on the head. He has a chair. He's going to swing at, I think, Reed, but it could have been Breakker. He swings and he about hits LA Knight, continuing on with their little heat between them. But Jay is able to super kick, I think, Breakker. At one point, the Usos and LA Knight were standing like near that table, but I think it was Jay who shoved Knight away, and Breakker puts both Usos through that table. Reed hits a tsunami on, I think, Jay. I think it was probably Jay, to pick up the win for the Vision. Which this match was pretty good, all things considered, and I really like the continuation of the story between Jay and LA Knight in this as well. Moving on, we have the women's world title match. We are going to crown a new women's world champion, Stephanievaquer versus iyosky. This is probably the best work rate match on the night. We'll get to quite possibly, I think, my favorite match of the night in a little bit, but in terms of work rate, this was probably the match of the night. Just really good back and forth stuff between both ladies. They pulled out all the stops in this. Stephanie hit a springboard crossbody to the outside, as well as another one inside the ring. Towards the tail end of the match, Io hits a Spanish fly on Stephanie inside of the ring. I also love the towards the tail end as well. She removed her knee pads to hit the Meteora in the corner. But also in the match, Stephanie hit a couple of hellacious dragon screws onto Io's legs, which again looked not like bad as in, oh, they look bad. Just like bad as like, oh, that had to like have hurt like really bad. Finish of the match sees Io go for her over the moonsault, but Stephanie is able to get the feet up, and she goes up top, hits a twisting press. I don't know the name of that move. I was going to call it a sky twister, but I'm like, I don't think it's a sky twister. And it's not a spiral tap either. So I'm just going to call it a twisting press off of the top to get the 3 and win the match. Stephanievaquer is the new Women's World Champion. And afterwards, Stephanie and Io show some respect afterwards, and Stephanie has her moment inside of the ring, which I thought was really, really cool. Then we go to quite possibly the crowd favorite of the night, and I would say that this is probably my match of the night. It is the mixed tag between Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins versus Punk and Ajlee. I've already uploaded both of those entrances onto the channel, so you can go and check those out. They were, so just like watching that in person, I was wondering at first, I was like, why are they building a stage on here? And then once the hype package started playing, I was like, oh, this is Seth and Becky's entrance. Got it. And then, of course, the platform lowers, and then they make their way down the ring. Also, I really like the transition from Seth's theme to Becky's theme. I thought that was really cool. And, of course, Punk and AJ, they're going to be, well, they're not from, where Wrestlepalooza was taking place, but they were close enough. So they're kind of, the home field advantage. Becky is, she wants to fight Punk. She's willing to fight Punk, but when AJ, gets in the ring, she wants no part of that. So that was kind of the overarching story throughout, and they did, they meaning Seth and Becky, did every single thing that they could to not have AJ get tagged in. They stopped Punk's momentum in trying to get to AJ in the corner. Then once they did get to the corner, they had the ref distracted so she didn't see the tag. At one point, Seth had the ref distracted, and Becky hit Punk in the corner. She actually hit him like multiple times throughout the match. But of course, babyfaces also returned it in kind. When Punk had the ref distracted, AJ attacked Seth in the corner as well. At one point, AJ had the Black Widow on Becky, and Punk had Seth in a sharpshooter, and I think Becky raked the eyes of Punk so that Seth could get out of the sharpshooter, and then Seth came over and just picked up AJ and got her out of the released the Black Widow. Just absolute chaos towards the tail end of the match. And then we also had some man-on-woman violence as well. AJ hit Seth with a stomp. AJ also got the Black Widow locked in on Seth. They make their way to the outside. It looked as though Punk and AJ were going to hit their respective finishes on the other announce tables, but they reversed it. I think Seth was going to go for a GTS, but Becky shoves AJ from the Spanish announce table to the English announce table, and all three of them go crumbling through that table. Becky gets AJ back into the ring, but AJ is able to get the Black Widow and makes Becky tap out. Punk and AJ win, and everyone is given AJ her flowers afterwards. They even chanted, "You still got it," during the matchup as well. So yeah, really fun match overall, and I think it was probably my pick for match of the night, being in the building. Before the main event, we had a surprise appearance from the Undertaker, which that entrance is already up on the channel as well. But yeah, Undertaker makes a surprise appearance and rides his motorcycle down, and he notices Stephanie sitting at ringside. And I noticed a lot of people, because I was sitting on the floor. Like, I saw Stephanie walk by. I noticed Sam Roberts. I also saw Nick Khan make his way to his seat as well. And Taker sits beside Steph and is like, I've known you for quite a bit of time. And, I was in Vegas for the fight just about a week ago and bumped into you there. And now I bumped into you here. And, I thought it would, be fair and, would be my honor and my distinction to say that you, Stephanie McMahon, are going to be the first person inducted into the Hall of Fame class for 2026. Which, that was awesome to experience in person. And I think Stephanie really deserves that Hall of Fame induction. Although, I do find it absolutely hysterical that 41, it was Triple H. 42, it's Stephanie. Just putting that out there. Just putting that out there. But it was still a nice moment in the arena when it happened. And I was glad that I got to experience that as well. Main event, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship. It was good back and forth early on. When Cody was going to go for his Cody cutter, he stopped in the ring. So, for those of you that were watching the show, either on ESPN or through like any other means, like, let me know down in the comments below. Like, did commentary give a reason as to why Cody stopped before going and hitting his Cody cutter? Just a question. Again, good back and forth throughout. Drew hit his reverse Alabama Slam to Cody on the outside onto the stairs, which looked absolutely brutal. Cody was able to fight back, hit his father's flip, flop, and fly, and also hit a power slam as well. Towards the tail end of the match, Drew looks like he's going to do what he did to Cody weeks ago, which was claymore him through the announce table, but Cody was able to get out of the way, and so Drew kicks the bottom of the table, and he's really selling his foot. He was able to make it back into the ring. Cody goes for a Cody cutter, but Drew catches him out of midair with a Glasgow kiss. He goes for a claymore, which he had hit earlier on in the matchup, but of course his foot gives out from him, and Cody is able to capitalize, hits a top rope Cody cutter, and hits a crossroads to retain his WWE Championship, and afterwards he sends the crowd home happy and gives a nice speech to the audience. That was probably on the post show and stuff. But yeah, that was Wrestlepalooza, and I had an absolute fun time watching that live and in person. And it was just buckets of fun. And I was actually able to catch a few people coming out of the show. I saw Brandon Knows Everything, BDE, got a fist bump with him, which that was awesome. And then I bumped into the Normies, and I'd been keeping up with Navi, Rana, and Marquetta. They're new wrestling fans, and they're checking out wrestling, some well-regarded wrestling matches, and just current modern-day product stuff. And that was their first show, so getting able to talk to them and get their feelings about the show, that was really cool. But yeah, it was just an absolute fun time, and like I'm looking forward to Crown Jewel. I'm looking forward to that show, but it's 8 a.m. here where I live. It's 8 a.m. start time. Like, I know that works out really well for, people in Europe and, closer to the time zone, but oh my god, I'm going to have to wake up so early. And that's probably also going to be a show where I talk about the show in highlight form, because the places where I would typically like go and watch my AEW shows, I don't know if they're going to be open for me to watch the WWE show on ESPN. So I'll try and find a way to talk about that show, because I would like to talk about it. But that is for future me to worry about. So in the meantime, guys, be safe out there, and I'll catch you guys next time.